Let's start in the AFC. Right now, the Chiefs are 7-point favorites over the Bengals. Who do you like?
At 7.5 or better, I'm going to make a play on Cincinnati here. Kansas City's defense, while somewhat improved from what we saw earlier in the season, is still average at best. Their last 6 games, they're giving up about 26 points per game, and 3 of those games came against Denver, and 2 of those were against Pittsburgh. Not exactly elite offenses, so I believe the Bengals are going to be able to score here. Now remember, Cincinnati struggled big time in protection last week. They gave up 9 sacks against Tennessee. I think that's going to be a point of emphasis with the game plan this week. Get the ball out of your hands quickly. Back door is wide open here with 7.5 in the pocket. I'll play the Bengals for a little bit.
I like it. I like the Bengals to beat that spread. Joe Burrow, brother. In the NFC, the Rams are 3.5-point favorites over a team that's beat them 6 times in a row, Joe. Do you think the ride for the Niners continues?
Yeah, I'll be playing San Francisco here at 3.5 or better. I could give you all the stats in the world, such as, San Francisco's won 6 straight. 5 of those were an underdog. Let's look at it like this. The Rams have won 2 playoff games with Matthew Stafford playing the best football of his career, okay? The Niners have won 2 playoff games with Jimmy Garoppolo playing below average football. What happens if Stafford takes a small step back? Which he has done twice against this Niners team this season, throwing 2 interceptions in each of their 2 meetings. What happens if Garoppolo takes a small step forward, which he did in the second half of their last meeting to guide San Francisco into the playoffs? Throw in the fact that the Niners have an extra day of rest. Throw in the fact that there's no home field advantage for the Rams. It's going to be a sea of red and gold at SoFi Stadium. And I'm going to get 3.5 in my pocket. I'll take the Niners here.
Makes a lot of sense. Finally, what are your favorite props for the weekend?
We got a bunch of them, but I'm going to narrow it down to 2. Rams running back Cam Akers going under 63.5 rushing yards, and Matthew Stafford throwing at least 1 interception at -110. Akers hasn't gone over 55 rushing yards in either of his 2 playoff games. Now you could say, well, he's not getting the ball all that much. He's coming off the Achilles injury. Look at that. He's averaging 20 rushing attempts per game, but he's averaging less than 3 yards per carry. The Niners ranked 6th in the NFL in opponent yards per rushing attempt, so I think they can limit Akers. And with that Niner offense that wants to grind the clock down with the rushing attack, I think his options are going to be limited. As for Stafford, we're getting a cheap price here at -110 because he hasn't thrown a pick in either of his last 2 games. Like I said earlier, he threw 2 interceptions in each meeting against the Niners. I think they pick him off at least once here, courtesy of Nick Bosa and that ferocious San Francisco pass rush.
You know, Joe, I like the prop bet on Akers rushing yards, but you were on a show, I heard you in the morning, KJM, a radio show, handsome host. I don't know what they're doing on the radio. They just put a camera on that guy's face. And he said that Cam Akers, total yards from scrimmage, maybe you take the over because of his involvement in the passing game. Was that guy right?
First of all, that guy, I don't know if it's George Clooney masquerading as a radio host these days, but it's just such an honor for me to be invited on such a big platform. Sometimes I get overwhelmed in the moment. I don't hear what's being said. I'm sweating. I'm nervous. But whatever that host had to say, genius in my opinion. He's there for a reason.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.